Yo, what's good? This your boy Derek Branch here, SportsView360.com, covering the New Orleans Saints. And today I want to talk about this notion of the Saints in regards to their new head coach, potentially new head coach, if they decide to go into continue on with looking at candidates from the Sean Payton coaching tree to become the next guy to lead this franchise into the new era of New Orleans Saints football. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people have built this narrative that they don't want to go back to another Sean Payton disciple, another Sean Payton um, staff member, assistant, while he was with the New Orleans Saints to become their new head coach. Now, the person I'm talking about now is current Detroit Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. Now, many of you already know Aaron Glenn was the Saints defensive back coach from 2016 to 2020, where he took the job he followed Dan Campbell, who was the Saints tight ends coach, over to the Detroit Lions and become his defensive coordinator. And a lot of league insiders, around the NFL analysts, they believe that Aaron Glenn is like the lead guy to become the New Orleans Saints new head coach. That's if they decide to not to retain Darren Rizzi and remove the interim label from him and hire him to become the full-time head coach. Now, Darren Rizzi is also a holdover from Sean Payton as well, along with Dennis Allen, who was fired a few weeks ago. Now, I'm very familiar with Eric Glenn, because back in the day he was a former player, a solid defensive back too, one of the most well-rounded, respected players in the league during his era. By the time he came to the Saints, he was kind of out of his prime and all that. But Sean Payton saw the value and saw the potential in him and decided to give him a role with the team. But back in the day in his head, Aaron Glenn was a pretty good cornerback, especially during his time with the New York Jets when he and in the Houston Texans. But Aaron Glenn, like Sean Payton, similar to Sean Payton, he is considered a Parcells guy. You don't really hear that term a lot right now in today's era. But back in the day when you had guys like Aaron Glenn, Curtis Martin, the late Terry Glenn, a few others out there, not Ronnie Lott, Rodney Harrison, those type of players, Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, those guys are considered Parcell guys. Bill Parcells guys, Belichick guys, all those guys come from under the same coaching tree and got that a familiar coaching style, if we're being honest. Now, a lot of people prefer not to have a Sean Payton um, assistant, a person that has some ties to Sean Payton, and that's because of what happened with Dennis Allen. And I think you gotta pause. You have to do your own research on that. Do your own little homework on that. I think don't get tied up into what don't get fearful about what happened with Dennis Allen. You know, there was a lot of evidence on why at the time he wasn't my first choice, is to become the head coach, but there's a lot of evidence out there on why Dennis Allen should not have become the Saints next head coach. after Sean Payton was gone, or after Sean Payton decided to leave the team. And if you ask me, I don't think there's nothing wrong with hiring somebody from the Sean Payton lineage, the Sean Payton coaching tree. I just think that the Saints hired the wrong person from the Sean Payton coaching tree. And if we're being honest, we let the guy that looks like he is, you know, develop a lot under Sean Payton, Dan Campbell. We let him go to Detroit and kept Dennis Allen instead. Now, at the time, I'm thinking, so nobody didn't notice Dan Campbell's the potential. You know what I mean? And I believe Aaron Glenn did interview for that job, along with Darren Rizzi. But they decided to go with Dennis Allen, you know? So I would say, and everybody got their own opinion, and that's fine. But I would say think for yourself first before you latch on to some of these narratives out there that a lot of Saints media, content creators, even me, kind of put whenever somebody at the top of these algorithms online social media puts out a popular opinion that sounds good, it tends to like latch on with everybody. If it's popular, latch on and people kind of roll with that without even thinking. And I know some people want the entire thing to be the entire Saints franchise to be pressure washed and just carried on to the studs and have nothing to do with Sean Payton. And that there's nothing wrong with that though. But I mean, you may potentially miss out on a good head coach if you decide not to pursue an Aaron Glenn or pursue somebody else outside of the realm. Because as I previously said, I think it's more about finding the right guy instead of going with somebody just based off of not going with somebody just because they had some ties to Sean Payton. Because it looked like all the people that had ties to Sean Payton right now are having success in Detroit. And my issue is with Eric Glenn, if the Saints do decide to go that route and hire him, what's he going to do at quarterback? How's the offense going to be run? Is he going to find somebody from the paid coach, somebody that ran the Sean Payton offense, or are you going to take somebody pull somebody from from Dan Campbell's staff on the offensive side to come run his offense? Or are you going to retain Clint Kubiak and go with what's in house already on the offensive side? Because we saw how much problems, how much issues Derek Carr had in his first season with the Saints, trying to understand that offense. And then the following year, this year, he gets another offense. And then if Aaron Glenn comes in and decide not to retain Kubiak and his staff and bring somebody over from Detroit, that's gonna be the third offense in a row that Derek Carr has to master. Has to understand. And based on how the game is now, we all know that the offense it is tailored to favor an offensive system. Offense is favored to benefit the quarterback. It's favored to benefit the wide receivers, the running backs, all that. And don't get me wrong, that system that they run in Detroit is really good. It's a really good offense. You saw what it did for Jared Goff's career. It revitalized his career when he got traded to the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how fast Carr can understand those concepts if they're incorporated here. Because I mean, if he can if Aaron Glenn can snatch up one of those assistants under Ben Johnson to come out here with him, I mean, and Carr can understand this offense, the new offense. We got the pieces to be a really good football team if everybody can stay healthy. And that's a whole nother topic right there. But I, this is gonna be a good team if, you know what I'm saying, all those things can come into play, you know. But just to pull up some of the statistics under those, let's look at it real quick. Points per game, the number two in points per game. Um, they're fifth in the league against stopping the run. Against the pass, they're 25th. The defense is really good. It's gotten really better compared to previous years. You know, and also you got to look at what he's working with over there. He lost Aiden Hutchinson, still rolling. Luce Alex Anzalone, top linebacker, former Saint, still rolling. Davenport didn't even play, hardly played this year. Still a pretty good team. Now that might hurt them down the road in the playoffs, but up until now, this is impressive on Aaron Glenn. You know, so I wouldn't be so quick to say I don't want a Sean Payton, a coach from the Sean Payton coaching tree to become the New Orleans Saints head coach just because of his failures. You know, I don't think Aaron Glenn is. I don't. I just don't see that, man, in Aaron Glenn compared to Dennis Allen. You know, I just don't see it. The majority crowd of not wanting a coach that an assistant that may have ties to Sean Payton. I'm not really opposed to hiring Joe Brady because Joe Brady made a career. You know, I mean, didn't do too well in Carolina. Went to Buffalo, and look what Josh Allen, the LSU Tigers, 2019 national championship winning offense. You know, Saints concepts in it from Sean Payton. So opposed to not hiring somebody from the mistake of hiring the wrong guy, hiring Dennis Allen. You know what I'm saying? So if you hire Aaron Glenn, what offense is going to run? Are you going to keep Clint Kubiak in place for continuity? That's my issue. So, but we'll see how it all play out, man. The time frame when they'll make the decision of keeping Rizzi or. All right, so that's y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. Do you have somebody like an Aaron Glenn who has ties to Sean Payton in the past from the past or Sean Payton coaching tree? And also, do you consider that to be a lazy hire if they do decide to hire Aaron Glenn? So there's that. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.